Why am I telling you this? Because you've got to be very careful. You've got to be very careful. You can't leave your brains behind when you're on the internet. You've got to think and listen to nervous feelings that warn you, something's not right there. Get good at listening, because someday when war comes and when you're having to flee and you're having to do, and you're going to depend on having a good conscience of nervous feelings. And oftentimes in these speeches I've told people, 90% of the training of your conscience are temporal promptings. They're not spiritual, about home teaching or your Sunday school lesson. They're about weight control. They're about time wasting. They're about exercise. They're about disciplining your children. They're about picking things up that you walk by, things that you disregard all day long. You don't realize that when you disregard the little temporal promptings and you put them aside and say, no, I don't really know, I'm too tired. And of course Satan is right there on the other shoulder saying, no, you're too tired, you don't want to do that. You should do your homework. No, you want to play first. That's what caught me as a youth. I always got those promptings to do my homework, but no, you want to play first, you're too tired. Satan is just as good as can be about knowing exactly what you want to hear. And remember, you have your own innate set of weaknesses that you came with, not God-given. You developed them before you came here. You have innateness, and it's hard to overcome your innate set points. Some people are innately soft, and it's like the devil getting them to be tough. Some people are innately hyper, and it's like the devil getting them to be calm down and take it smoothly. But that's what you need to concentrate on. And conscience is always after you to get after your innate weaknesses. And you are innately resistant to every prompting that comes. And the more you resist, the more you offend God. And I don't care how many times you talk about God being unconditionally loving, etc. That's not the way conscience works. He's not sitting there comforting you all day long and saying what a good job you're doing. If you're listening, he's after you all day long saying, come on, get up, do this, pick that up, do that. I mean, it's not clear like this. Remember, it comes in your own grammar. It sounds like you talking to yourself. That's the way conscience works. You get a spiritual prompting, and it's interpreted in your own voice and grammar. It sounds exactly like you talking. It takes a good deal of experience to determine, and when Satan impresses you, it sounds like you talking too. So how do you tell the difference? Over time and experience, you get good at saying, okay, that didn't work out too well when I followed that. I thought that would be neat to do. And so you realize that was a temptation. And it's pretty easy to understand when you get reminders, you forgot something. But how many times do you give the Lord credit for that? When you're walking out the door and you're just reminded to go back and get something. And you think, oh, that was smart of me. And you go back and get it. But give credit to the Lord. That's how you make good points for the Lord. That's how you tell him you appreciate the little still small voice. Forget about dreams and visions and the big stuff. That's a trap. Satan has been given great power to get dreams and visions. And I'll tell you why they're not trustworthy. Because they are all over the map. Now, they're all about preparedness. They're all about last days and hard times. So they have the ring of general truth. But the specifics are almost always contradictory and wrong. And what's worse, it gets you dependent on who's having the next dream and vision, instead of the still small voice in your mind, which is what your real power is to get personal revelation. And I should call it inspiration. I distinguish. Revelation is where you get physical, sensory information. It's very rare. Inspiration is what the Lord wants to deal with because it takes refinement to deal with inspiration. It takes sensitivity to it. Any dummy can get a revelation. It doesn't take any smarts when you have an angel appearing to you and talking to you. I mean, it's just there. But it takes a great deal of spiritual expertise to get inspiration and to distinguish it from temptation and rationalization. And that's why let me put it this way. One of the biggest problems I found on a theological note is in Sunday school class they talk all the time about listening to the Spirit. How wonderful it is to listen to the Spirit. And I made a very unpopular comment once in class. And I said, but the real test If you're listening is if you change. If you're changing. How many of you have changed your weight in the last 10 years downward? Well, it's all gone up, right? It just keeps going up. If your weight keeps going up, you're missing promptings. Even if you try occasionally, if it keeps going up, you're missing promptings, because the Lord will be after you. And it's not just about starving. There's thyroid conditions, there's lots of other things, there's exercise, but if you're not changing, you're not listening. So stop listening for the Relief Society lesson, the prompting of service. That's the rare thing. The point is 90% of what you're getting is temporal, and if you're not changing temporally and getting in better shape and fitter and better at what you're doing, you're not listening. And unbeknownst to you, you're being penalized because you won't get warned when you need to be warned. I once missed a great warning that cost me thousands of dollars early in my married life. And when I complained to the Lord bitterly about it, how come because I actually did get a little reminder that I disregarded. And the words came to me, because you have so often disregarded, you didn't deserve a better warning. And from that day forward, I made a commitment to listen to every little prompting. And I was shocked at how many there were when I made a commitment to start listening. I was shocked that walking down the hall, when you get a thought, you should pick that piece of paper, you really should pick it up, even when it's inconvenient. You know, the little things matter. We're talking about survival here. And that's why I'm saying your biggest survival is going to be listening to promptings.